Hey everyone, and welcome to the Tech Integration Hub. Today we will be going over Google Sites. At the end of this session, you'll have some ideas on how you can use Sites for your class, be able to use some of the tools on Sites, and even build your own Google site. So why would you want to create a Google site for your class? You may already use tools like Google Classroom or Class Dojo to communicate with students and parents. Those tools are great for sharing information or messaging parents, but sites can go one step farther. In sites, you can share announcements, videos, newsletters, and other important information with parents quickly. You can add links to Google Classroom, Class Dojo, and even email, so parents have a landing page for everything they need to know. You can also create pages to showcase student work, give positive feedback and encouragement to students. And I think the most important part for using sites in a classroom is to give students an alternate way to share their work and present information. You don't have to use your own site for class to utilize this tool, but you do need to know how to use it in order to teach your students. And that is what we're going to learn today. Let's talk about some of the skills that you're going to learn about today. Then we'll make a site together. First, we're going to learn how to create pages for your website. Then we'll go over how to add text boxes and other content boxes. After that, we will add images, and I'll show you a really cool website that you can pull images from. Finally, we will add links to places like your Google Classroom and your email, as well as adding links from one page of your site to another. So let's get started with building your site. We're going to start from the Google Drive, and if you click on the waffle, you'll scroll down and see Sites. We're going to click on that to get started. So once you're on the Google Sites homepage, you're going to hit the plus button at the bottom of the screen and then create a new site. You can look through these templates later if you hit choose template, but for right now, we're just going to start from scratch. So once you create a new site, it will be a blank canvas. You can choose to name your site whatever you want by clicking on the site name in the upper left-hand corner of the page. You can edit your title by clicking the text box, and we're going to call it Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so's page. So I'll say Mr. Norris's classroom. And for the site name, we'll call it, again, Mr. Norris's class. So now that we have done that, we can tell that it's still pretty boring. We don't have anything on here. The background is pretty plain. So to quickly liven it up, we're going to select the Themes tab on the right-hand side of the page, and you can look at the different themes that are over here. I'm going to select Vision and then change the color to something that I want. I'm going to do this just by clicking the paint bucket on the end. You can choose any of the colors that are already there though. So if you don't like the font for your theme, you can always change that at another time by clicking the text box and choosing another font. Now let's add a new page to the website. To do this, go to Pages on the right side of the screen and then click the plus button at the bottom of the screen. This will open up a text box, and let's name this one of the classes you'll teach. So for example, I'll name mine Design and Modeling. When you hit enter, notice that the page will appear at the top of the page in the header area. You can toggle back and forth between these two pages and see the differences there. Maybe you want to have a designation between an 8th grade ELA and an English 1 or something like that. So I'm just going to create another class. If you teach more than one class, we'll just call this Math 8. Okay. So now let's create some sub pages for our class. So if I go to Design and Modeling and I hit the 3 dots on the side, I'm going to hit Add Subpage. let's call this first subpage, we'll call it student work. Okay, so we've added a subpage. So that's one way of adding. You can also just hit new page from the bottom. We'll call it again student work. And then you can nest these pages in one another just by clicking it and then dragging it to the page you want to nest it under. I'm going to add another subpage. Let's call it announcements. So we'll just add a subpage to design and modeling and call it announcements. So now we have plenty of pages to get started. It's really easy to add more pages in the future as needed. Let's talk about adding content to the website. So we're going to go to our home page by clicking home at the top bar, and then we are going to click insert on the top right side of the screen. Let's add a welcome note and 2 other content blocks. So I'm going to hit a content block. I'm just going to hit this, let's say 3 times. Okay, so I've got 3 different content blocks. I want to add a welcome note. So let's delete this placeholder and we're just going to say welcome to Mr. Norris's class. And then you can add a note here as needed. Okay. So if I don't want this off to the side, I can always drag this whole box to the middle. You can see where I'm center aligned and I'm good to go. I can change the size of my font if I want to make this a little bit bigger. And then again, I can change my text box here. And there's a lot that you can do to kind of play with this to get it to look like how you want it to look. So we've added some content blocks. Let's add some photos. I'm going to a website now called Unsplash. It is a free website that has thousands of high quality images. This website's nice because you don't have to worry about Creative Commons or stealing someone's work, but they have really high quality photos. So we're going to add 3 different types of images to our website. We're going to add a header at the top of the page. We're going to add an image to one of the content blocks. And we're going to add an image carousel for student work. So let's find an image that we like on Unsplash. I'm just going to search classroom. And this is for our header. So something like this with the books and the blocks we can use. So I'm going to hit the download button. It'll download to my computer. And then I'm going to go back to my website. So to change the image at the top of the page or the header type, we're going to hit change image, upload, select the image that we want, and then open it. You can tell that the image is there. You can change the header type, so you can go banner to a large banner to a full cover, but unfortunately you cannot change the placement of the image. So now let's go do the same thing with the content block. Let's say we have a student of the week that we want to showcase in our content block. So student of the week, and then if you want, you can add a picture. Again, add, upload, select the picture that you want. We'll go, there's Johnny. All right. And you can save that from there. To add an image from a Google search, you can hit the plus sign and hit select image. From here, you can access your drive, paste a URL, or do a Google search. If you find an image that you want to use, but it's in another tab, you can right click and hit select or select copy image address. Paste the URL into the box and of the website and then click insert image. Note that not all websites will work. So I'll show you one that does not work first. So I'm going to hit right click, copy image address, paste the image in. You can see that it doesn't work. It's not a valid URL. I'm going to try a different one. Right click, copy image address, paste it in, and then I'll insert the image. Again, you can see that the size is not quite what we want, so we can uncrop the image and we'll go right there. Notice that you can also change the position of the content blocks as needed. So now let's showcase some student work. We're going to go up to one of our classes and then hit the student work tab. And we are going to choose the image carousel. So from here, I'll hit the plus sign. And again, we'll upload the image, choose these pictures that we want to showcase student work, and then hit open and insert. You can change the placement. You can add a text box to the side or above if you would like, but we can view the carousel by hitting the preview button and seeing that we can just filter through this. Finally, let's talk about how to insert links into your website. This is useful to add shortcuts to different parts of your website, link to an outside website, or even open up an email for parents to contact you. Let's start with one of your class pages. This is not one of the subpages, but it's just the top link of the class. And let's create a link to, let's say, Google Classroom. So I'm going to select a content block. I'm going to hit Google, I'm going to type in Google Classroom and then say, click the image on the left to go to Google Classroom. Okay, so now I need to add an image to Google Classroom. So again, remember how we can do that. We're going to hit select image. We're going to hit Google image search this time, see if it works. Type in Google Classroom. See if there is a photo here of Classroom that we like. So this is just the icon, the logo for Google Classroom. We'll hit insert, see what that looks like. We'll uncrop it. Okay, and we're good to go. So now we need to link this to Google Classroom. So in another tab, I'm just going to open up my Classroom. And I just want the Classroom homepage for students. If I go to a specific class, not everyone has access to that, so it won't copy the link. So we're going to hit insert link, paste, and then hit apply. We can test where this goes by previewing the page, clicking on the image, and seeing that it takes you to Google Classroom. So that's pretty cool. So now let's talk about linking from one part of your website to another. So now we're going to add 3 placeholders just to your main page of your website. And we're going to line them up so that they are all next to each other. If you ever do something that you don't want, Control Z is undo, and that works just fine here. So let's add a couple images. We'll link this to our Project Lead the Way page. Google image search, this will work. Just insert that. We'll link this to our math page. Call this math. And then we'll link this third one to send us an email. So we'll just Google image search and email. And the first thing that comes up is fine. So how do we add links? So you're going to click on the image, click on the link above, then click on the text box, and then you can link where you want this to go on your website. So I'm going to hit design and modeling and then apply. For math, I'll hit link, math 8, and then apply. And then for the email, this is a little bit different. You'll click on the image, hit link, and then type mail to : and then your email address. Do not use any spaces here. Then hit apply. You can test all of these again by previewing the page, clicking on the image, and you can see if I click email, it will open up a separate page, and that will allow parents just to email you from there. So before we can share our website with others, we need to do one more step, and that's to publish it. You'll need to do this every time you make changes to the website. So go to the top right corner of the screen and hit the purple Publish button. You can create your web address here and manage who can see your website. So create whatever name you want, and then for the published site, you can change that to public, to just Zanesville City Schools, to restricted, whoever you want to share that with, and then hit done and publish. And there you have it. You've successfully created your own website. There's a lot more you can do with Google Sites, like add videos, links, Google Docs, and even embed other websites. But this information will get you started and on your way to using sites in your classroom. Thanks for following along today. If you could, take 5 minutes to fill out the feedback form linked in the description, or follow the link on the screen. As always, you can reach out to the Tech Hub for any help.